for you. My first one is you say that getting resources from the moon will alleviate global conflict, but how will we divide up resources like the helium-3 that you talked about between international research facilities and not create more conflict from that?
Okay, because of the abundancy of helium-3, there's more than likely going to be less conflict. According to the Huffington Post article that I mentioned in my video, they stated that only 25 tons, only 25 tons of it is necessary to power all of the United States and the European Union. And there's reportedly over 1 million tons of it on the moon. So because there's so much of it, there is unlikely going to be less conflict because there's nothing to fight over. Most of the conflict now is over scarce resources people need, such as oil. So people will fight over oil because there isn't much of it, and that's why there's such a demand for it. And by the time we run out of this helium-3 on the moon, it still won't create conflict because by the time we're at the moon, by the time we're even close to finishing using helium-3 on the moon, we'll be on other planets because, as I mentioned in the video, going to the moon is the first step to inhabiting other planets as well. So it would take a long time for us to use all the helium-3, and we'd be in Mars and other planets that have other resources that we'll use that can alleviate the conflict that's present on Earth today.
Okay. My next question is, what kind of natural disaster would be so destructive that it would require humans to evacuate the Earth? And if it's so bad, what about the rest of us? Because your definition of terraforming is that we can sustain a small population. Like, the Earth is not a small population, so who gets to go? What about the rest of us?
Well, the main point of sending people to the moon to save humanity is just that, just to save humanity. Even though people will die from a natural disaster, the goal isn't to save all people, since that would be almost impossible to save the billions of people on Earth. Basically, the plan is to just save the human race. So if we can send a couple 100,000, even a couple million to the moon, we'll still have the human race going on rather than not having a plan and losing all of humanity here on Earth. And a natural disaster that can occur, according to a BBC article that I mentioned, it'll most likely be from an ice age. So basically what can happen is either an asteroid can hit the Earth and do the same thing it did to dinosaurs and create this ash around the atmosphere that would create the ice age. That's even possible from just the supervolcanoes that are located throughout the Earth that can, the volcanic ash that it lets out will cover most of the atmosphere, like I said, and will create the ice age.
Okay. And then my last question is, you said that there's rare metallic materials in asteroids that will replenish on the Earth. What are those materials, and why do we need them, and why do we need to go to the moon to get them?
Okay, so this is from physics.org. They state that some of these rare materials are dysprosium, lanthanum, and yttrium. So they're very scarce here on Earth, even though we really use them on a lot of our new technologies. So it says here that they're used for green technologies and high technological advances. So basically we use them on hybrid cars, on fluorescent and LED light bulbs, wind power turbines, and even satellites. So without these rare metallic metals that aren't really present here on Earth, we wouldn't have all these things. And it also stated that 95 to 97% of it came to China, which is why we're taking the initiative to ask the United States to go to the moon and get these rare metallic materials, just so that they can have the upper hand in these resources. And yeah, like I mentioned, the NASA article that I mentioned in my video stated that the asteroids that crash onto the moon have reported to have an abundance of these rare metals on the moon. And that's why the United States needs to go and make sure we get these resources that can help us out a lot.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right.